Algebra 1 Study Guide 2, page 1. Number 1, identify the rational number. Now, if it's a rational number, it's going to have to be able to be made a fraction. If it's a decimal, it can end or repeat. Well, let's kind of see what works and what doesn't work. 20 divided by 0 is actually undefined, so it's not going to fall into rational or irrational. Pi is non-ending, non-repeating, so it's irrational. Square root of 67, we don't know. We know it's going to be 8 point something, never ending, never repeating, so it's irrational. And then that leaves us this one, which is going to be rational because it doesn't end, but it does repeat, and all repeating decimals are rational. Now, number 2 is the reverse. It says name the irrational one. Well, let's look and see what is rational. 1/3 is rational because it is a fraction, if it can be written as a fraction, and it has a repeating decimal. So this one's not irrational. 0.43 is an ending decimal, 43 over 100. It can be written as a fraction, so it's rational. Negative square root of 144 is negative 1 times 12, which is rational. That's an integer. And so that leaves us a square root of 91 is irrational. That's a non-ending, non-repeating decimal. We know that the square root, that 9 squared is 81, so it's going to have to be 9 point something. Number 3, identify the subsets of real numbers that apply to 15 over 20. Well, we know that 15 over 20 is not a counting number, which is our natural numbers. It's not a whole number. It's not an integer, but then as we go up the ladder, it is definitely going to be rational because it can be written as a fraction. And then if it's rational, it's going to be real. And when we go through our list, we'll see that, notice that C says rational and real. Number 4, constants and variables. Okay, the constants will be the 2 and the 4. And the variables will be the C, the M, and the Y. So that goes out because constants can't be variables. B says the constants are 2 and 4, and the variables are C and Y. Well, they left the M out. To look at C, the constants are 2 and 4. The variables are C, M, and Y. That one looks correct. Let's see what's wrong with D. The constants are 2 and 4. That's correct. The variables are C, M, and G, and there was no G, so it's got to be C. Number 5, factors and coefficients of 5ER. Well, 5ER means 5 times E times R. So that's our 3 factors. And then the coefficient is going to be the 5. What's wrong with A? It lists E and R together as a factor. So that's what's wrong with that one. This one says coefficients 5. The factors are 5E and R. That's our answer. Let's see what's wrong with the other ones. The coefficients are E and R. Coefficients are not variables. The coefficient is 5, the factors are 5 and R, and they left out the E. Simplify 2 to the 5th, number 6. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Let's pair them up. That's going to be 4, and then 4 times 2 is going to be 8, and then 8 times 2 is going to be 16, and 16 times 2 is 32, which is C. Number 4, let's remember Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So let's go across and find multiplication or division, whichever comes first, which is the 6 divided by 2. So I've got 34 minus 3 times, I'm going to change that x to a dot, 4 plus 6. So we've still got multiplication. We didn't have any parentheses or exponents in either step. So now we've got 34 minus 12 plus 6. Now we're just adding and subtracting from the left. 34 minus 12 is 22. Plus 6, which is 28, which is B. Number 8, when you add 2 negatives, you add the numbers and take the sign of the problem. So negative 32 plus negative 18, you just add 10, carry 1, 3, 4, 5, and negative plus negative is a negative, which is C. Number 9, you have a positive and a negative. Well, you need to take the difference in the two, and so we're going to take the negative 185, and we're going to take 0.29 from it. We've got to do a little borrowing. And now the biggest of these two, without the signs, is going to be the 1.85. So we already know our answer is going to be negative. So we could eliminate A and B. So 9, we'll need to borrow from our 8. 9 from 15 is 6. 2 from 7 is 5. And then 1 minus 0 is 1. And then we knew our answer was negative, so it's going to be the negative 1.56. Number 10. Okay, we've got some grouping symbols. We need to go innermost first. So we've got 8 plus bracket 10 divided by 2, close, actually they're braces, times 4. So we've got 8 plus, we'll still do the division, which is in the braces, which is 5 times 4. We've got 8 plus 20, still got to do that multiplication before the addition, which is 28.